Hi submarine friends. Well, I figured out how to make my steering system and I could not be happier. I'm going to go with the old-fashioned cable and pulley system with a tiller. I just love it because it's bulletproof simple. So this is what I built. So this assembly right here bolts to the underside of the ring right in front of the pilot's seat, so in the conning tower. So what I have is this portion here is the tiller, and it's inside. So when I'm steering the submarine, I'm literally making this movement. Super comfortable. It's not in the way. There's lots of room for it. So it's perfect. So I had everything I need here. I've got a bunch of these pulleys that I stripped off an exercise machine at the dump. And I got this aluminum off of my aluminum boat trailer that I'm taking apart. And I had this piece right here that bolts to the ring, and it's so it bolts right here but on the front one, and it's actually got a brass bushing and a pin in it already, so it was really just a matter of putting it all together, and it's really smooth and really solid. So I couldn't be happier, and I built it so the whole thing just bolts up, so nothing's welded in place. Didn't have to mess up my paint job. And what I like about that is I take one bolt out, the whole thing drops out, and then you can work on it, fix it, whatever's wrong with it. So, and that's the nice part about this. If anything breaks, it's all super exposed. So all I do is I drill a hole through this ring and the other two rings ahead of it, and the cable will just travel through those holes. If I have to, I can put a piece of copper tubing in here to act as a slide in case it wants to rub. And then I make another one, so just this piece here, this aluminum piece with the pulleys, I make another one of those super quick, and it will bolt right into place right there, and then the cable will connect to this pitman arm, which is already existing. And the pitman arm distance from the center to where the cables connect is identical to the distance from the pin to where the cable connects on the tiller arm. So this way the cables will stay nice and tight. I guess you normally put a spring in there just to keep them snuggish, but yeah, so when you move the cable, because of the angles and everything, one side can loosen. So if it's identical on the opposite end, then the cables always stay tight. So I'm pretty darn happy with that. So now I'll get to work making this other aluminum piece with the two rollers, or pulleys rather, and then I'll figure out where I have to drill the holes for the cables to go through. And yeah, then I gotta find some cable. I don't have any 1/8 cable here, so I'll have to pick some up and some clamps, but that's no big deal. And then I'll have steering. And what's nice is the way I made this is I can just slip a handle over top of this, so whatever I decide I want for a handle, so when I'm steering, it can be below the tiller, it can be above the tiller. I can make a piece that extends it so when I want to steer with my knee, it's comfortable to just push it back and forth with my knee. Maybe like a U that my knee fits into. That would work. Because when you're standing there, you got to be able to steer. And I just don't want anything electric or hydraulic. I got enough stuff going on. I don't need to be wiring and plumbing and doing all that. I'd rather it was just manual. The simpler, the better in a submarine, as far as I'm concerned. It should be built like an army Jeep. Anyways, that's my progress. Ciao.